We are out here this morning doing the first test flights on the Kangook Amaruk. So we spent the time setting it all up. Sounds like I got an echo in my helmet. I'm using this new face shield, testing that to cut down on wind noise when I'm doing tandems and stuff. Let me know how it sounds. Get this motor warmed up. I was lucky enough to have this show up from Kangook. Just the frame itself, so I happen to have a motor. Happen to have a motor on hand that I could put onto it and break it in. I did the hang tests. Kind of got it dialed in a little bit. See how she feels in the air. All right, we're up. Launch was pretty easy. Felt good. There's kind of a new swing arms that are on this set. As a different design of swing arms where they go quite low by the arm, and it feels really good. Like there's nothing riding up underneath my arms, which I really like. I find with the swan necks that Kangook has, they do kind of tend to ride the bottom of your arms, but these don't interfere at all, which is great. During my ascent, there was a little bit of torque effect where it wanted to take me around to the right a little bit. So I think every paramotor is going to have that, but this one, it felt pretty minimal. You know, you can kind of compensate it with the weight shift. Yeah, I really like this new swing arm. It feels very free, like really good space in here to maneuver around, which is awesome. Cage itself, let's try some weight shift. Try it the other way. Yeah, really good weight shift. I don't know, is it bad when every new thing I fly is my new favorite? It has this space behind your head so that you can look up. So my head, it still hits the cage, so the top of my helmet is still hits the frame part, but there's definitely a bit more headroom there where you can look up and see your wing. Hookup for the starter rope is up over your shoulder, which is a huge improvement from the ones that are down on the frame, just because, you know, when you pull it out, it just rubs against the shoulder strap of your harness, and over time it just makes a mark there. You know, not a big deal, but this is way easier placement where you're actually you can pull it down rather than have to pull it up. Minor, but it's a good improvement. Oh, what a beautiful morning. It's so nice and warm. I got up here. Oh, I feel like I've got this motor balanced pretty good. I've seen a few comments online about the sensation of the forward pitch of a paramotor during and just after your launch. And that is a real thing. And I think there's kind of two fixes to that. One is proper size of harness and harness adjustment. And the second is proper posture during your launch. You know, if you allow that motor to slip up your back and be on the top of your back and start to pitch forward, then, you know, that's what forces you towards the ground. So you really have to focus on sitting that motor back down behind you and trying to really lean back into the thrust so that the motor picks you up rather than pushes you along. So it's a technique thing. Certainly there's different suspensions that are better than others. I do find that on the Swan necks that the black APCO band is a little long, and I think that creates the opportunity for more pitch. With this type of system on the tubular bars, it's a little shorter and more close to the arm itself, and I think that helps to fix that. You can still, I think, well, you can still, get the right techniques, but that's one observation that I've seen, is that if you can have something that's tighter to the bar, it I think makes your launches a little easier. A lot of people ask, does the single hoop really a lot lighter than the double hoop? Well, of course it is. I think depending on the age and ability of the individual, I think in many cases a double hoop is a better option for just protecting your prop, because if you come in just the wrong way or trip and fall or whatever, there's a good chance you could damage your prop. Or if you blow a launch, the double hoop helps to protect the lines from going into your prop. So I use the double hoop when we're training guys. The single hoop is nice. It is certainly a little less weight, but not that much, to be honest. So it's really a balance of the needs of the individual. So anyway, landing gear is down. Okay, first flight was pretty damn good. So we're gonna set up and we're gonna just do it again. That was nice. Okay, unfortunately, I have like ounces of fuel left, so we got maybe a quick one. Yeah, I really like these tubular arms. I think that's gonna be my new go-to. Okay, flight number 2. Let's do it. Another kind of thought that just popped into my mind is when you're setting up your hang points, typically they say, be about 5 to 10 degrees. I find, at least with these ones, back more about 15 degrees. And then once you're under power, it pushes forward a little bit. Okay, we'll see how long it takes me to run out of gas. Today a guy was saying how, you got to experience skydiving because, you leave the threshold of that plane and the world just opens up. Well, I get the same experience from flying a paramotor. Like I leave the ground and you get up here and the world just opens up. And it's just like so beautiful. And you forget about all that crap that's going on. World pandemics and all the BS of the news. You come up here and it's just the beauty of the world. And everything else disappears. Oh, yeah, we're out of gas. It took a little longer than I thought. There we go. We ran out of gas. But that's okay. Now we can float down to the earth. So nice. All right, so we'll get down on the ground, and then we're going to go over in detail just some of the things that I've seen on this new frame, and we'll just talk about that. So talk to you in a bit. I got to land. Yeah, so when you're kiting on the ground, the frame is nice that you can, so like doing reverses, my head kind of sits back into that little space there. I like that. That's good. Yeah. We're going to pack her up, we're going to take her back to the hangar, and we'll talk about some details and see what we can learn about this new frame.
Okay, we are back at the hangar, and I just wanted to kind of go over some of the things that I've seen on the frames, compare them to some of the other designs. So still 3-piece cage design. One thing that I've noticed is the difference in Velcro. Like this is kind of like a, I don't know how you describe it, but it's like the kind of, probably it's not going to fray. So I like that. It feels really good. It seems like it's better quality than, like, these are the old Velcros. You know, those, so these ones kind of fray over time. So I like this type of Velcro. I have noticed that on the netting, the weave is tighter. So on these styles of frames, you can see that the gaps in here are quite large. So, you know, like we're talking, that's about 2 inches between those. In this frame, it is probably about an 1.25 inch-ish, somewhere in there. So difference there. We've already talked about this part in the top section where it does allow you to tilt your head back, so it does make ground handling a little bit more comfortable. I like that. We did talk about the swing arms. So these steel tube ones, I think, are going to be my new go-to. I really like them. The comfort, didn't come up under my arms. So when we talk about the swan necks, this is kind of what I was talking about, where it's not as deep in this portion here. So if your harness isn't snugged up just right, this rides up underneath your arms, and you know, you see the guys that get bruising under their arms and stuff. That's a result of that. And this one is just a lot deeper, and I really like it. You know, this one has an advantage for, you know, it's easy to, you know, adjust your hang points. So I use this one in training. So for different guys, you know, it's easy to just have a visual of where we can dial it in. You know, this one, I guess if we had some markings on here, and then it's just a matter of sliding this retainer clip back and forth, and that's what adjusts it. So what I was talking about in the length of that, see the length of this thing here, and I think that can help create or be less favorable for that pitch forward motion. So what I've been experimenting with is using extra shackles and shortening that distance by making it like down here like that, and it seems to help. But with this type of hang point, it's a little shorter, and I think there's less pitch movement back and forth. Even if this was a little shorter yet, like I think the tighter that carabiner can be to the swing arm, the better. All right, so yeah, the cage, the frame design itself, it's nice and contoured in this back part here, which is nice. Same as on this model. However, this one does have a little bit more ergonomic design where your butt kind of sits back in there. I thought that they were going to do that on all the frames, but obviously the Amaruk does not have that, and I do like that design component. Again, we've got like kind of the protect option here. So, you know, brake handles, this is the part where we need to be concerned with. I am really disappointed that on the 132 classic frame, they no longer offer that protect option. So that's a bummer, it really is. And so you can see this one being my trainer, I've built my own weave in there just because students make mistakes, you know, new guys make mistakes, and we need to be able to lessen the chances of those going through. So that is a bummer. Like, they do have it still on, like this is the only one that they don't do it, and so I probably won't be buying any more of these, unfortunately. But anyway, so yeah, I think I like everything about this frame. I really do. You know, we talked about the double hoop, and so you can see how on this design, you know, like you know, the prop sticks out behind the frame. So, you know, not a big deal. You just gotta know what you're doing, do things right. This is a little more forgiving, where, you know, the prop is inside the frame. Got that double hoop option, so, you know, if you do that butt drag, it will hopefully lessen the likelihood of damage to your prop. You know, like this one here, you know, if you happen to skid out and, you know, come back on something, you could damage your prop. It happens. Same with the lines. You know, if you botch a launch, you know, your lines can come down and get tangled in your prop. This, you know, still can get tangled, but it helps the guys out a little bit. But nothing is foolproof. That's why we practice and we train and we try and do things the right way. So yeah, that is the Kangook Amaruk. I don't know, man. I like everything about it. I really can't come up with anything bad. I do like, see on the front of these, they've rounded the front corners, which is really good. The square corners, you know, if you have those butt drags, it would just dig in. These ones, you know, they got the round front on them now, so it just helps, so you're not gonna like bury yourself. It just skids along the ground if that inadvertently happens. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, you guys. I'm trying to point out the good, the bad, and the ugly, and give you guys at least a look at them, because not everybody has the ability to have more than one in their shop. So hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do some more flights on this, and I think I'm really going to like it. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Fly safe.